To get started creating a Google spreadsheet from a main Google screen, you'll go ahead and go up to the app drawer, or I like to call it the Rubik's Cube. You're going to select Drive. You'll go over to the red Create button. This is where you have a plethora of choices, and we're going to select Spreadsheet. Inside our spreadsheet, we have our regular toolbar that you would expect to see. We can rename our document by selecting Untitled Spreadsheet and rename our document. We can go ahead and start editing our cells. And a nice feature is by selecting the cell number 1 here off to the side, I can go to View and I can freeze that row. By freezing row 1, I'll be able to go down to row 3 billion and I'll still see the title of that row. I can also freeze a column. So if this was Sally and we had Jim and Bob and I still wanted to be able to see them, I could select A and I can go to View and I can freeze column 1. This gives me another little bar, and now as I'm putting in grades and I get all the way out to next January, I'm going to still be able to see whose grades I am looking at. One of the nice features of Google Spreadsheets is that it has several built-in formulas that help me look like a pro even though I'm not. So if I'm going to go ahead and do 5, 6, let's go down here and do a 10. And I want to go ahead and sum. I'm going to go up here to this functions window and I'm going to click sum. I'm going to drag it so that it knows which sum I want. And now this becomes the sum. You can tell that it works because when I go in and change it, it's going to change that. I can also go here below and I can select average, and I'm going to average these 3 numbers, and I'm going to select that I want those into a percent, and I did not go ahead and change that should be divided by 30, so that all of them should have got 30 points. Clearly they didn't, so that's only 25%. I can also do what is called conditional formatting, and that says that if I go over here and I'm going to do conditional formatting for this entire cell, that any cell that is less than 10, background color is going to be red, and I save that rule. Anything that's less than 10 now is going to be red. If I go ahead and change this to 12, it not only changes my sum and my average, but it also changes that cell to not reflect red. This is very handy when you're wanting to create your own grade book. Another nice feature of Google Spreadsheets is that we can merge cells. So if I wanted this to be assignment 4, selected characteristics, instead of losing all of that, I can actually take this one and I can merge the cells. Now that becomes one cell. And I can also delete cells, so by highlighting on these cells, maybe I can select delete columns, and I'm going to do it again. And so now you can see that I will only have 3 columns here as needed. I'm going to go ahead and merge those 2. Now those 2 cells are merged. I can share this document with anybody that I choose by inviting people. This is the best way to do it for the classroom. By starting to type in somebody's name, everything that comes up in my contacts is going to pull up. I can decide that this person can only comment on it. I can add an email message right away, or I can select I don't want to email that person. So I don't want to email that person, but they are shared within the document. This icon over here is going to take me back to my drive. At any time that I want to get back to this document, I'm going to go ahead and use my Rubik's Cube. I'm going to select my drive. You can see that we're already in the drive, and I have named it Rename Document, and it will pull up